Hi guys, my name is Cash and welcome to CashedOutCars. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I mounted my mountain bike to my Turbo Miata project. Now, the total cost for this mounting system that I came up with is around $50, and it does a pretty sweet job of mounting a bike to such a small car like this, and I think it looks absolutely awesome. So let's get into how I did it. So here is everything that you will need to mount a bike to a car, specifically a Miata. Everything here is linked in the description below, and the total cost is around $50. So the first thing that I have here is a triple suction cup mount. This thing is made for glass, but the trunk of a Miata is flat enough for that thing to work. That's rated up to about 300 pounds of pulling strength this way, so it's plenty to hold the bike in place. Next up, we have a fork mount. That is what mounts to the harness bar up there. I'm going to be showing you how I install that in a second. And then we have two aluminum mounts that actually go around that harness bar and that we're going to be attaching to the fork mount with this hardware down there. This also came with the bar mounts there. These were included. This is just what holds those bar mounts together. The first thing that you're going to need to do is determine where you want to put your fork mount. On my car, I'm going right to this harness bar there because that's extremely sturdy and is centered and really is an ideal spot to mount the front fork. And that's where these mounts here are going to go. So first things first, let's attach our fork mount to these bar mounts, and then we could go ahead and get that in place on the car. So this is pretty simple here. You have a hole in the fork mount that I picked out and also a hole in the mounts that I picked. So you're just gonna put this like this, put your hardware through that hole and tighten everything down. And since I'm using this hex head hardware, which doesn't have a lot of area on the head itself, I'm using a lock washer and then a flat washer. This will help lock this down and make it harder to steal, and also make sure it doesn't loosen up while I'm driving around. And this here is what this mount will look like once you have it all assembled, and now we could go ahead and get ready to actually attach it to the car. Now you're going to need to play around with these rubber mounts that come with these aluminum clamps and figure out which ones are going to work perfectly around your bar. Once you have that picked out, you could go ahead and get ready to actually mount your fork mount to your car. I'm going to set my mount so it sits pretty far forward since the Miata is such a short car. And then once you've got the proper size rubber pieces picked out, you could go ahead and grab your hardware to attach it to the bar. Now use the lock washers for this too. Once again, this will make sure that everything's a bit harder to steal and that it'll hold everything in place better without it rattling loose. Then you could go ahead and get your upper and lower fastener in and begin evenly tightening them down. And now that's on there quite solid, I'm going to finish up tightening down the fork mount, and then we could get ready to put the suction cup on the back and get the bike on the car. Get this fire extinguisher out of the way. If you're interested in the fire extinguisher mount, that's a very high quality mount that's made by Scosh, and I have that linked in the description too. Alright, and that's on there, and that's pretty freaking solid. So guys, here's what the fork mount looks like. Other than covering up my logo, this thing looks awesome and it's quite sturdy. Another thing that's sort of nice is since it's rubber mounted, it could flex just a little bit, which will help prevent vibrations and noises and stressing anything too much on the bike or the mount. So now that that's on there, I'm gonna take the front wheel off of my bike and get it up here and see where the back wheel wants to sit, and then we could place that suction cup mount. And now we could go ahead and lift the bike up into place here. Get this front fork all lined up on this mount. Alright, so that's on there. That's about how it's going to look, and now we can get this rear suction cup mount on to hold this bike from wiggling around. Then you can go ahead and pick the location for your suction cup mount. I think here's a pretty good one because the rear tire sits pretty much centralized on that thing. So that's right where we want it. Now we're going to suck this thing down. And like I said, the trunk of this car is pretty flat, but it's not perfectly flat. So you want to make sure the surface is completely clean before you put this thing on, and then you really want to press it down. And then as you're pressing it down, then you could really suck down the suction cups. And that's on there. I feel like I could lift the whole car with that, but I know I can't. The very last thing that I did here was just connect that rear tire to the suction cup mount, and the way I did that was use a D-ring strap here. My dad does upholstery. If you want to check out his work, check out winchesterupholstery.com and on Instagram. But anyway, this is just a simple D-ring strap that holds this down. There are a lot of different things you could use, but I thought this was a good method that's quick and easy to attach and is extremely sturdy on there. So as you could see, the bike does wiggle around just a little bit on here, but a lot of that's due to those rubber mounts, and I could put tighter mounts on if I wanted. And also just a little bit of wiggle like that is pretty normal for most of the bike racks that I've seen. And so guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Like I said, everything that I used in this video is down in the description down below. The total cost for this mounting system was about $50, and I am super happy with the results. So once this Turbo Miata project is running reliably, I'll be taking this to the trails and be posting some more videos about it on this channel. And also I have another channel called Golden Hour Adventure, which is dedicated to biking and dual sport riding and stuff like that. So if you're interested, go check that out. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and comment down below what you think of this mounting system that I made.